We're live. We are back.
Yeah, back in our houses.
Yeah, my game was real quick, so I was able to come home, which was really nice.
Yeah, I'm like trying to figure out where I would like to find a place somewhere, if it's not close to home, to like some establishment out there somewhere where I can kind of sit.
Are you asking a listener? Are you asking a listener?
I'm asking.
Go crash at their place.
I'm asking anybody out there, like I know, like what Lou Marinelli would say. He actually invited me out to his favorite spot. I'm like, I can't.
You want to do the show from there?
Yeah, from Uncle Joe's. But I for a brief second I thought, I'm like, you know what? It said 40 minutes home or whatever it was, 38 minutes home. I'm like, I can make that.
Yeah.
So anyway, welcome back to the drive. Welcome back to the drive home with Pete and Sean and our little informal, like, let's take a look at the scoreboard watching like we do all the time. So welcome. We're going to talk about our games real quick, and they were both not great. I think yours was the worst of them. I think mine was at least close, but you were at Brookfield.
Yeah.
And obviously unranked to start the year, and then got mad when they were ranked, and then beat St. Joe in a last second play, and then came back, beat North Haven, always tough, and then they went up to Brookfield, Pete, and yikes.
I mean, this hand defense is something. I mean, they just dominated the line of scrimmage. I think their starters allowed something like 40 rushing yards, and Brookfield is known for running the ball. You know, a couple that balls he played well. He did the best that he could, but the thing that Hand did so well tonight was they forced turnovers. And according to Eric Becker after the game, they hadn't forced a turnover all season, and they got on their defense about it. And guess what they did? They forced 5 turnovers, 3 forced fumbles on like offensive plays by Braden Dempsey. He's got one hand. He's got a club on his right hand. He broke his
I saw that
his hand. Yeah, he fractured his hand at New Canaan during a scrimmage, and then had surgery the day before the St. Joe's game. He's got screws in his hand. He plays in the St. Joe's game. He's played every game, forced 3 fumbles, and they caused a fumble on a kick return to open up the half, and they had an interception. I mean, it was just an amazing defensive performance by Hand. They won 38-7. The touchdown came against Hand's JV defense. The varsity defense was just outstanding tonight. Braden Dempsey was just absolutely outstanding. And the offense cashed in. I mean, when you can score, I think it was 21 points off of those turnovers, that changes the entire game. And Brookfield, they're a real good running team. They couldn't really throw themselves back into the game. And it definitely made the difference. Hand's legit. I mean, I wish they weren't in class double S, but they were legit. What about your game as I go to tweet out the link so people can watch?
Yeah, well, thanks. So yeah, I gotta look at that. Well, Benell obviously coming off a big win over Mask last week. They got Ricky Miller. They've got Roddy Ricketts. I always get those guys confused. Both have Rick in there. The Ricksters. They had one of the best plays I've seen all year, where Miller, who was an old lineman last year, now in the backfield, rolls left and then throws just a rope right over to Ricketts for the touchdown. That got him within 13-7. You're like, all right, early third quarter, I have a little bit of ball game, but New Canaan, which their offense is obviously different than it was last year. New quarterback, some new personnel. Esposito, sure, but it's a little different. They have to do different things. The quarterback can only do certain things, and just a whole new dynamic. Got to reinvent themselves. The defense, they've been here all the time. It's the same guy, just the same thing. And they did an amazing job on Benell. But after Benell scored that, you thought, all right, 13-7. You can no huddle offense, zip right down the field. They just seemed like they had a little bit more of a spark. Made it 20-7. Next time Benell got the ball, they didn't really go anywhere. And I think New Canaan wore them out. That was certainly alluded to by the Benell side, at least. Ty was saying that just they're 80, 90 guys versus our 40.
Yeah,
and there's something to that. Obviously, they did kind of. Even Lou Marinelli said, I think we just kind of wore them out at the end. They never really had no chance in this game, but Ty was pretty hey, we're supposed to get our doors blown. I don't know about that. No one expected them to win, and they didn't.
Yeah.
But we're supposed to be, beat down here, and we showed up, and they did.
Yeah.
They showed up.
They've had a really hard first 3 games of the year in Wethersfield, Massac, and New Canaan. Yeah. I mean, that is as tough as a meat grinder as you're gonna get.
Yeah.
But then you even look at Hand. You look at Hand, St. Joe's, North Haven, which is never an easy opponent to play, and then Brookfield. So 2 state finalists and a really good North Haven team. Even in a down year, they're still going to wear you out. You still have to prepare for that offense. So Hand comes out of it 3-0, and they're number 4 in the state. And all the other teams ahead of them won. Like you said, New Canaan won, Greenwich won, Killingly won. I just saw a tweet from Killingly's Twitter account. This is their 100th win in their last 114 games.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
That's wild. And they had 1 year where they lost. Was the year they were in L, where they lose 5 games that year? They went 6-4, and then they lost it to New Canaan in the first round. So 5 of those 14 losses came in one season.
I don't know. Yeah, that's good.
That's pretty impressive.
Out right now, and they beat up on Law tonight in a game. They beat 49-21. Law kept pace as long as they could. I think they ran out of gas. It's just a machine right now. Pretty big week next week. So now these are all the Alliance games. Are for the most part are done, and then we go next week with some really big league games. New Canaan plays St. Joe. St. Joe, real quick, came off a pretty thrilling back and forth game. Southern with two tough back and forth game losses, but St. Joe had to score late in that one with the running back. I had it up here a second ago, but they had to rally back. Southern kind of had them, and they had to rally back to win that game. I have it right here. Who was it? The winner was there. He is. Tristan Spain scored the winning touchdown with 42 seconds left, 30-24. I'm 99.99% sure that's the first time those 2 teams have ever played each other.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I think I looked into that.
Yeah, and that was. Still think Southern. This is the thing. You have the 2 Alliance games. You have these power matchups, and someone's walking out of there 0-2. There are a lot of good teams that are walking out 0. That's what I hate about the Alliance. You got to walk out of there 0-2. Then they added more playoffs, so it doesn't. It comes out in the wash anyway. So what are these games?
But there were some really good, just to speak, Alliance and not really. I don't want to jump around too much, but we got a lot of Windsor in the chat. A lot of people are pumped. That is a great big win for Windsor because, to be honest, you were a little worried. They struggled against a very new Torrington team. Really, only Aiden Hansen was a returning key player for Torrington, and Windsor kind of struggled with them. And then South Windsor was hanging around, I think, far too long for Windsor's liking last week. Windsor obviously won that game, but Newtown making the trip up there. Newtown is a really good program, really good team every year. And they came out with the 34-31 win over Newtown. I think that's a great win for Windsor. I think a lot of the voters were starting to question, are we voting Windsor too high after those 2 struggling wins? But that's a really good win.
I wanted to see them. I wanted to see how they did here. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was a really big one.
I don't see a lot of info on it, but 17-14 at halftime. Newtown's 31-27 after 3. And Newtown scored the winner. Held them scoreless in the fourth quarter. I don't really know what happened. So they scored the winner. I don't know when. But speaking of teams that are 2-0 out of the Alliance, Windsor is. That's a big win over Newtown. And then Newtown coming out of there 0-2 in their Alliance game because they played New Canaan. So that's Windsor gets Torrington, which is, Torrington hung tough with them. So good for that. But then you got Newtown's got to play number 1 New Canaan and Windsor. It's just always good.
But you know what? They need that. The SWC, they're too big for the SWC. I think I know they're smaller than they used to be, but Newtown needs to be battle tested outside of the SWC if they're going to do anything in the playoffs. Another one that's really interesting, another 2-0 teams meeting, Wilt and Cheshire. I mean, those were 2 teams that we didn't really know a lot. We don't really know a lot about Cheshire. And we didn't really know a lot about Wilton outside of Charlie Calabrese coming back. They moved him from running back to quarterback. He's been outstanding. I don't know how he did tonight, but he had 8 rushing touchdowns in the first 2 weeks. Obviously, I think it was Padilla. He had the 4 interceptions last week against Trumbull. But now they're going against a Cheshire team, and that game apparently looked really good. Obviously, Whitland scores, I believe, late, and then Cheshire had a chance, but the pass fell through. And
left.
Yeah,
they scored on a 5-yard TD run by Dennis Dustin, not Calabrese, to go up 28-21 in a back-and-forth game. 45 seconds left. Cheshire threw.
It's that D'Annunzio magic, man. That D'Annunzio magic is back at it. Wilton's 3-0. I mean, after a pretty, after a down year for them last year, a lot of new faces to jump out 3-0, and in that new FCX schedule, I mean, Wilton's got some guys on their roster. They got some guys on their schedule this year. Who do they got? They got they got Ludlow, who's a lot better than we thought they were. Then they got Staples.
Who won that game? I don't even know.
Second. Then Stanford Ward. And then Wilton ends with Greenwich and St. Joe's before they play Hill House. So, I mean, getting wins early for Wilton is going to be huge.
Fairfield Ludlow 3-0. 21-14 over Shelton. That's
not good for Shelton. So
they did win their first Alliance game, which was
Wilton and Ludlow are going to play on next Saturday. That's going to be a really good one.
So Wilton Ludlow. It's a showdown week in the FCX, going right back in the league play, baby.
Oh, Mr. Scott Erickson, thank you for watching. Shouldn't you be writing your story?
Yeah. He was
but
at
that one
game.
Was a classic too.
And I'm like, what are the chances Scott got one or two of both of the kickoff return touchdowns to start the third quarter? 0 chance.
Yeah, but you know what he did get? He got the game-winning field goal by Mickey.
Boy. We like
38-yarder with no time left. Staples beats West Haven in a wild one.
Crazy game. Old rivals meet again. They're like
they've played so much the last couple of years. Staples. That's a big win for Maddie. I mean, Staples coming out of Glastonbury in the opener last week was kind of a blah week in the FCX. That's a good win. That is a good win for Staples. And they Darien next week. Darien won again.
Darien did win 28-21 over Massac.
Yeah. I poo-pooed them at the earlier
homecoming.
Yeah, I poo-pooed them at the beginning of the season, and now they're 3-0.
Absolutely. Of course they are. I'm going to run down all the Alliance scores from tonight. Amity 28, Fitch 0 over in Woodbridge. Spartans are 2-1. George French texted me asking for a Maloney score. Maloney's playing tomorrow.
Yes.
I think a lot of people, it's not on the schedule here. They didn't change it or something. And everyone's like, where's the Maloney score? And they're playing tomorrow morning, right?
I believe, right? But I'm not sure.
Someone can answer me. If
the Conard Maloney game is still on for tonight on the CIAC site, but I think it got moved to Saturday. A couple of games from Thursday got moved. I know Simsbury got moved to Saturday. Yeah, so haven't had anything from Maloney yet. Let me check out. Is anyone in the comments? Anyone in the comments got Maloney? Someone said something about Derby and GNH.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Them, but I haven't seen a score for that game.
I don't know if it's an upset, but let's go through the Alliance scores. Amity 28, Fitch 0, Hand 38, Brookfield 7, Darien 28, Massac 21. East Lyme made the best East win. East Lyme is the best East. 38-0 over East Haven. Ludlow 21, Shelton 14. That's really big for Ludlow. Who actually, you know what? They showed us who they were against Notre Dame, and they put a number on them, so they're very good. Fairfield Prep, New Britain. Surprising. I want to say surprise. I know the New Britain people are screaming at us.
Oh,
they didn't win, but it was a tight game over there. 24-21. Prep wins.
Yeah, Vinny Lombardo had a really good game, had a receiving touchdown, had a rushing touchdown. And here's the kicker on him. We talked about Danny Wallace last week on the show. He's a good baseball player. Vinny Lombardo's a really good baseball player, like potential draft pick baseball player. And he is an excellent running back for Fairfield Prep.
Speaking of Greenwich, we talked about this game. Greenwich 38, Notre Dame West Haven 7. 0-3 for the Green Knights as they try to get into the Class Double L playoffs. Of course, Fairfield Prep got in there a few years ago at 4-6. So
and almost won. Was inches away from beating Staples.
All is definitely. If Notre Dame was still in L, they'd be in big trouble.
Yeah.
Thankfully, they got to the semis last year, which now helped this team out. So last year's semifinal appearance helped them because then bumped them up to double up. So
yeah,
we looked at their schedule on the meat grinder. We talked about it a bit. There's some toughies still left, but I think Notre Dame is going to be okay. I have faith. Hill House 41, Amistad, and their next door neighbors walk there. 41-0 over at Bowen Field. Killingly 49, Law 21. Manchester beat Trumbull. Wow. Two teams that only scored 12 points in both of their first two games. And Manchester doubles it up. And 26-14. That's tough.
Yeah. Not great.
That's a good win for Manchester. I
Great
did
win
not
for
give them much of a shot there.
No, me neither.
New Canaan 27, Benell 7. I talked about that to start. New Fairfield 42, Lewis Mills 12.
All right, just quickly, New Fairfield. New Fairfield has been chirping a lot. Apparently, we hate New Fairfield. Apparently, we hate the SWC despite covering all these great SWC games. New Fairfield. Next week, when you play Notre Dame, show up. That's the game.
That's where you go.
Look at your schedule. 3-0. You should be 3-0. All right, you should be 3-0. I don't get mad at us for not covering some of the games that it's just not worth it, right? So show up against Notre Dame Prep. This is the game. We're going to talk about it on the meat grinder too. But all right, you win this one, you're 3-0. Now you got Notre Dame Prep. That's the big one.
Yeah, your first three games, guys. Relax.
Yeah.
Like your first three opponents. Yeah, you have Benell's playing New Canaan. Chirp when you play those teams.
Yeah.
All right. So. North Haven doing its thing over Bristol Central 40-12. Norwalk 54. New Milford 30. New Milford's given up 63 points in the last two games.
Yeah. Oof. But good for Norwalk. We haven't seen the box yet, but I would guess that our boy Easton Pace had a pretty good game again.
I would imagine. Ridgefield 33, Hamden nothing. Sheehan 40, Pomperaug 14. Talked about St. Joe. One late, 30-24 going into their game against Canaan. That's at St. Joe on Saturday, right?
That is at St. Joe's. A nice matinee down the block. Very happy
What's
about
the other one? The other one is
Staples Darien.
Yeah.
And Ludlow Wilton.
Ludlow Wilton.
FCAC owns Saturday, man. NVL owns Thursday. FCAC owns Saturday.
That's right. Weston 50, Bassett 26, Wilton 28, Cheshire 21, Windsor 34, Newtown 31. I'd like to know a little bit more about that. Xavier on the board. 13-0 in OT. 13-12, excuse me, in overtime.
And apparently NFA went for 2 and didn't get it. They went for the win. After Xavier did that last week, went for 2 and the win, didn't get it. NFA does it to them and doesn't get it too. So Xavier holds for their first win in the. Is it first win or first win in the Sean Marin in part 2 era?
East Hartford McMahon. We don't have a score on that yet, unless I missed something. Glastonbury Danbury. I don't have a score on that one. Bethel and West Hill don't have a score on that. Okay. To the other league games going. What's that? You have something?
No, I'm waiting to talk to the Pequot to talk about Weaver Hartford Public. They came back. Good for them. First win as a co-op. 30-23 over HK. I was just excited to talk about it.
Wow. That is a big one. Well, when we start there in the Pequot, we kind of get the short end of the stick, especially when these Alliance games going on. But yeah, 30-23 HK. We were thinking like, wow, that 14. I mean, it was only 14-0. They had 2 shutouts, Pete, in their first 2 games. HK, if I'm correct, and they put 30 on them. Listen, 3 combined Hartford schools. I don't think they were going to be terrible. Yeah. And meanwhile, Basque Harding and stuff. What do we got? Yeah. But anyway, tell me about that. You know what I mean?
No, it was exciting to kind of watch it unravel on Twitter. And it was nice for them to get that win. That's a huge win for the co-op.
Yeah, it is. That's really big. Let me just see here. Jaden Booth had 60-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown. Jeez. And they were, it was back and forth. So there you go. That's a big win for them. HK, not from the ranks of the unbeatens. Whoa. All I don't know why I'm going that way. That's all right. What else happened in the Pequot? Nothing.
Rockville
beat Granby. Yeah.
Granby.
So Granby.
2 in a row.
Oof. Yeah, Granby. I don't know. I don't know about this year, Pete. I don't know. Certainly struggling.
No.
Going up top. Going to look at CCC. Farmington 35, EO Smith 13, Middletown 44, Rams 6, Plainville 43, Tolland 18. Plainville. They're pretty good, I think, Plainville. They got beat up by Middletown last week, but Berlin still undefeated, 42-6 over Bristol Eastern. Newington had a dogfight with your boy over there at Enfield. 15-13. Josiah Sims I think he had a decent game there. I don't know if he scored the winner or not. Was that a Platt with a big win? 35-21 over Weathersfield.
Huge win for my Panthers. Huge win.
Just
the defense. Sorry, just quickly, our story is up for the Newington game. A late defensive stop. My boy Josiah Sims, 159 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. Get a really good game.
My guy. Dude, they're 3-0. Nor'easters, man.
Nothing on Connor Maloney. Everyone's asking about Connor Maloney. I guess that is like that.
Does anyone have Connor Maloney? Does anyone have Derby and Gilbert? They're on the picks. And anyone have ATI?
Somebody said Derby was an upset. I don't know about
Someone
that.
Said, we got to confirm it. Well, we all picked Derby except for 2 people. Huh? Yeah.
No, I got nothing on that game. Played up. I didn't know they played night games up there. I guess so.
Night games? I think they bring in the lights.
Do they?
Yeah. Which are awful. Too. Like, not at Gilbert, just when they bring in lights, they're never good.
At least there, at least they don't do the walk down the field.
Oh, I missed that. I love the Van Wy walk.
They used to do that at Quigley Stadium.
The best was with the coaches would just get so frustrated by the end of the game, they would just go for 2. Like, I just don't want to do it anymore. I remember one game, Gilbert was playing Avon, and Jim Coet was the coach at Avon, and it was back and forth game. We went to overtime, and instead of walking down, he's like, we're just going to go for it, and we're going to go for the win. And Jimmy Murphy got stopped. Jimmy Murphy went to go play. Yeah, meant to go play.
Oh, I remember that game. That was in 13.
Yep, that was my first season. And Jimmy Murphy went on to go play at Miami. Seth Dayton, if I remember, made the key tackle for Gilbert to win that game.
Yeah, and didn't you have some nice footage of that?
Yeah.
From the press box?
No, I was on the field. You can't. Really? The press box at Gilbert. Have you ever been to the press box in Gilbert? It could fit 1 human.
I don't remember seeing I remember seeing the house, whatever, from the.
Yeah, anyway. That was 12 years ago.
Yeah, I know. Where was I? Quickly on ECC, Griswold. What? Griswold beats Ledger 14-0. Ooh, that's a big win. That's a big win for Griswold. All right, so let's do the transitive properties here. Seymour scraped by Oxford tonight, 7-3. Remember the first game, Griswold was up a couple of scores on Seymour. Then Seymour turns around, beats Ansonia. So on the guide this week, I said, "Hey, to Griswold, to Ledger." I said, "Listen, Griswold hung with Seymour, which just beat Ansonia. So look out." That's a huge win because they had nobody come back. Griswold.
They had no one coming back.
That's a big win. And Ledger, I was listening to the day, and they were like, the best team in this area has got to be after killing. Has got to be Ledger.
Yeah, not anymore.
That's wow. I wonder what happened there.
ECC. Ooh.
Yeah. Fitch comes down here with a big litmus testing, gets beat by anybody. Waterford 39, Moffville 17. Nothing on Stonington, New London yet. Nothing on Ward Central. Did we see that one?
Ward won 38-0. I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Ward is 3-0. When was the last time Ward was 3-0?
Holy Cross 49, Watertown nothing. Woodland 56, Noggy 28.
That's the Pinot Trophy. Yeah. I was at that game last year, and that game was a surprise beat down by Woodland because Naugatuck was pretty good last year, and Woodland just beat the doors off of them. This one not as surprising because I think we all think Woodland is pretty good. But for Woodland, we're just circling the Ansonia game. That's their only test, and this doesn't seem like this is an Ansonia team of the past. So this is Woodland's league to lose, and I picked them. I think I picked them to win Class S this year. That's looking pretty good right now. It's a little early, but
NVL staying there. Gilbert did beat Derby 29-6.
That is updated. All right, updating the picks board. Everyone lost, but Carl and Will in the 8-ball.
So they don't get an 8-ball now.
Yeah.
Wilkett 18, Kennedy 15. That's a relatively good one for Wilkett.
Yes.
They need that. What else we got?
We got Lyman Hall beat Foreign in an SEC game. Ryan Casey with 4 more touchdowns for the Trojans. He had 5 last week, 4 more today.
Pretty good.
Yeah, he's a pretty good player. Pretty good looking player.
Come back with a shutout after last week.
Yeah.
It'd be nice. Do we have any idea what happened to Notre Dame Prep in Stratford?
No, I cannot find anything. I'm scouring the internet, which is basically just Twitter.
I'm going to assume Notre Dame. I don't have a McMahon score, Dave. Davey lives in the chat. Looking for that.
If you got it, tell us.
Hey,
hello,
Dave.
Oh, from Florida, Dave. Oh, I got Stratford. According to Max Preps, Notre Dame Prep 26, Stratford 7. According to Max Prep. So let me check.
Not bad for Stratford. We had some doubts. Not bad for Stratford. They didn't
that sets up a 3-0 next week. All right, Dave. Nothing from East Hartford has been reported yet for McMahon East Hartford. Sorry, but thank you for watching from Florida.
Dave Libbs was our man in Naples when Greenwich played Naples in 2007 for the Connecticut Post, because we were all separate papers back then. The Advocate, the Greenwich Time, they all had their own guy. Actually, the Advocate and Greenwich Time had their own Jesse. I think it was Jesse. But Dave Libbs came through for us. Attaboy, Dave. When he went because his family they have a place down in Naples, or had family down in Naples, and he covered that for us.
All right, well, let's give some W's in the chat for Dave from Florida. Some W's, I think that's what they do. Some W's in the chat. Yeah, even the Alliance is looking for Glastonbury, Danbury, East Hartford, and Brian McMahon. Hey, while you're at it, Brian McMahon, can you Dave, yeah, love that. While you're at it, McMahon, can you send your preview in? That joke only lasts until tomorrow. Oh, we got a W in the chat from Brian. What's up, Brian?
Boy, Brian.
That's what I see people do on live shows. Like, I put W's in the chat. I don't know what that means.
I don't get it.
No, we got a nice slate of games. I know next Saturday is like the big day. Wait, William, if you live in McMahon territory and they're your second team, does that make Norwalk your first team? Because I feel like Norwalk is also McMahon territory.
It is.
But we got a pretty good slate tomorrow. Nothing stands out like next week, but I think you and I are making the trip up north together. We're going to do a little fun double dip tomorrow.
Yeah. So we got. I was checking to see if there's any other scores that came through while we were doing that. No, nothing. Yeah, tomorrow morning we gotta get. So it means I gotta get to bed soon.
I gotta get to bed soon. Yeah.
Yeah. Tomorrow morning, I think we're gonna go up to
Barlow, Northwest Catholic.
Barlow, Northwest Catholic at 11 a.m. That SWC we don't cover ever. And then Brantford, Team Lamone heading up to Cheney Tech.
He's gonna hate to see us
at noon.
John is the absolute best, but he is Mr. Oh, we got Jay in the chat right? Is telling
East
us 45-20 East Hartford. We can't confirm that yet. Do we trust J Riv X?
Well, the internet says East Hartford wins 45-20. That sounds about right. The way that would go if I was, but I'm pretty sure it is. But we got once we get that confirmed, it sounds like that's a winner for. Yeah, we talked about Lyman Hall.
Yeah, Ryan
shutout
Casey,
after last week. They were They were in a barn burner last week.
Yeah. But yeah, so Saturday we're starting at Northwest Catholic to see Vinny Burbank and Caden Davis, and then we're going to head over to Cheney to see Joey Montalvo and Branford. Jay saw it on Instagram. Instagram is actually a very good place for scores. I don't know why I didn't check. That is a good call, my friend.
Instagram's the new Twitter.
Honestly, it really is.
It is. It used to be like,
Yeah, even Xavier updating. NFA went for 2. They stopped them.
Love it. Love it. Might as well.
Yeah.
So, Barlett, Northwest Cat, we're going to only see half of the other game. If that. That's a tough turnaround. Because then you got to drive the 10 minutes, 15 minutes to get to East Catholic. But that's tomorrow. What else is tomorrow? Wilbur-Cross at Harding here in Bridgeport. Crack at Windsor Locks. Stanford at Guilford.
The Saturday night.
Sonia at Waterbury Career Academy. Now, I cannot go to that. That's a very fascinating game, though. So,
yeah.
I'm not saying, it's panic mode in Ansonia yet, but it's panic
They
mode.
need to come out and win convincingly to kind of lower that meter. Mark, we quickly talk Ward 38-0 Ward over Central. I know it hasn't been updated anywhere, but I saw that on Twitter.
Torrington at Crosby. Wyndham at Bacon is interesting. They're both, right? 2-0? Or did Wyndham? Yeah, I think both 2-0.
Yeah, Bacon's 2-0.
Speaking of 2, isn't O'Brien Tech 2-0?
I believe O'Brien Tech is 2-0.
And they're going to play that.
They broke a long losing streak in their season opener win.
Hall at Simsbury, Avon, South Windsor. So that's tomorrow. Also, on Thursday, just quickly, Bloomfield beat Rocky Hill 14-12. Bullard Haven's on the board, 33-6 over VG over Final Goodwin. Plainville Co-op beat Woodstock Academy 22-6. The Valley Panthers from last week. St. Paul beating Willoughby. Cromwell Portland beating up on Capo Prep, and Stafford hanging on beat Coventry, which came after big.
Yeah, they had beaten. So that's a good win for Stafford. And Stafford, who does Stafford have next week? I was just looking. Stafford's got Ellington. That should be a good game next week in the Pequot. That might be on the picks.
Back to league play, man. Love league play. I asked that question of everybody. Bunnell can't wait to get. They love the games. They love the Alliance games, but can't wait to let's get into the SWC. I
think they're a little happy. You go through that 3 games, and now you got Weston on Friday.
Yeah, they're hot. Something to be said about league play. We're kind of about league play has been really
like Brookfield's not playing Newtown this year. I'm sorry, Brookfield's not playing Massac this year.
And there's no way that it used to be played twice.
Yeah.
So all right, I'm just looking very, very way too early next week. Look ahead. Manchester Maloney.
That becomes more interesting.
Yeah. Northwest Catholic at Plainville. Middletown at Newington, 6:30. We talk Richfield. Listen, I'm not sold on Richfield. I'm saying Mark, but I'll say this about Norwalk. I'm just reading the comment. I'll say this about Norwalk. Look out. They got the quarterback is legit.
Yeah.
He's a burner. I think the rest of the team are starting to realize that. They had Greenwich sweating. I saw tonight? I saw Johnny Football tonight.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we were talking about that.
I didn't see a celebrity this week.
John, I don't know how much of a celebrity Johnny Football is.
No, I'm saying I didn't after seeing Michael Kay and Kevin Gilbride. I'm 0 for 2. Well, 0 for 1 because there was no Thursday. Ooh, 5 touchdowns for Pace tonight.
5 TDs for Pace.
That sounds about right.
Hang on to him, man.
Fun to watch. Yeah.
Hang on. Because they were just saying Greenwich was we all know that. Greenwich came back with a vengeance tonight, so that was good to see. Because Notre Dame's still no slouch. I don't know. but good job by Norwalk. So yeah, Norwalk's got. Listen, I'm going to go to the FCX where it's at next.
Yeah,
there are a few other good games out there. I mean, obviously a few. Frickle Prep and Shelton kind of lost a little luster. Amity at Sheen's interesting. I'm going to the SEC now. Amity at Sheen, Xavier at West Haven. Other than that, nothing. Law at Notre Dame is
that was
very fascinating now.
Yeah,
but the FCX where it's at. So next week it's all on Saturday, right? Yeah. Ward's at Danbury, and then it goes Saturday. Look at that. Trumbull at Central, McMahon at Stanford. McMahon's going to need a win there, and Stanford, I don't know. We'll see how they do against Guilford tomorrow, but I mean, I would imagine they'll be looking for 1-2. Richfield at Norwalk.
That becomes very interesting now.
That becomes now I kind of expect Norwalk to win that one now.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard, but I mean, I don't know too much about Richfield. Their game against New Canaan obviously did not go well. But then you get Staples Darien at 1:30 and New Canaan at St. Joseph at 2. Unfortunately, they didn't stagger those, right?
Yeah. If you see, or I think I'm going to St. Joe's on Saturday. Lou is just going to come up to us and say, we should play these all at the same place and play all 3 games in a row. That's usually his pitch because we get one weekend like this every year for the FCX.
And then Ludlow at Wilton at 3. That's the stat. Ludlow. At this point, I've given up on trying to figure Ludlow out. But 3-0, Wilton 3-0, that's as big as any of those other games.
They may not have the name.
Right, they don't have the rank
aura. But, I mean, both of those, Ludlow is just proving a lot of people wrong. I mean, to the credit of we are going off of what was submitted in their season preview. So, they graduated a lot of guys, but this quarterback is playing really well for them. Love, I think is his last name. Can we just talk quickly? And I'm looking at Saturday schedule next week, and there's one on this week, a couple of them this week. Saturday game should not be started. 3:00 is the latest a Saturday game should start. We're 6:00 next week. There's a 7:00 game on Saturday. Dude, that's insane. That's just too late.
Saturday night games are no bueno.
No bueno. They're just too late. But
after
speaking
Thursday,
of late,
Friday, and then all day Saturday, can't do Thursday. Yeah. At some point, I got to see people. So Saturday night's usually what I reserve for them. Saturday night. But
speaking of late, it's late.
All right. Yeah, it is late. Let's go.
We
went through a lot of these games. If you're just joining us, we went through we went through the whole schedule. There are a few games we didn't get. I don't know. Last look to see if there's any that came through while we were yakking there.
Yeah, so just scroll back and watch a bunch of times and send to your friends and let them know that we're doing this.
Yeah, we're doing this. We're doing this within an hour. Depends. 10:30 is the target, but we were out very far away from our home bases.
Yeah. So, all
right. Yeah,
we'll be back Monday. We'll be back Monday live. At 7:30.
All these live shows. All right. So that's the score. I mean, lots. Like we said, beginning of this, lots of really good games out there. We're gonna have a ton of coverage on it. Obviously, I want to know all about the St. Joe game and that Staples beating West Haven on a field goal to end it. Crazy. There are a few others out there too. They're just and away we go. So we are just about the end of week 3. Alliance is pretty much done. And away we go into league play. Thank goodness gracious. All right. So, yada, yada, yada. We'll see you guys on Monday.
Love you all.